everybody, and welcome on into Sidelines Presented by Visit Potter Tioga. I'm Drew Patrick. On today's episode, we meet the assistant women's soccer coach, plus we talk sprint football and field hockey. Welcome back to Sidelines. Let's talk sprint football, as joining me at the desk are Holden, Meyers and Kayin. Berger, thank you so much for taking the time and stopping by.
Thanks for having us.
So this week, obviously the first week of the season coming up, and it's a pretty big one coming up. But before we get into the game this weekend, how does it feel to finally be back out there and be playing again after the year break?
It's exciting. It's been a long wait for us, especially after last semester, all that conditioning and lifting, but I think we're finally ready to get going.
Yeah, I mean, for me, not even being here the whole year, being stuck at home, like just to be able to put pads on again and hit somebody feels awesome.
So it's very interesting, too, because your team is very young, because, you have two large classes of pretty much freshmen experience-wise. You guys, as two returners, are forced really into that leadership role, upperclassman role. How important has that aspect been here at the start of through camp and the start of the season here?
It was great that a lot of the freshmen were here last semester, so they kind of got familiarized with the playbook. But as everyone come back together, it really hasn't been too long that we kind of clicked pretty fast, so it's been moving pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, the chemistry so far has been great. It was rough the first few days, getting to know everybody. Mm-hmm. Like for me, there was 70 different guys that I never even seen before, so just to get to know them, get familiar with them, get down their tendencies, offensively at least, it's been pretty quick.
So you guys have both kind of jumped around positions your careers here. How important do you think that is? I mean, you're pretty solid on where you guys are now, but how important is that, I guess, ability to really fill in the role you need, and how do you spread that to the rest of the guys who may be moving around in their careers?
Yeah, I mean, I think it all comes with, do you want to see the field or do you want to sit on the bench? If you need a guy that wants to on the line and you play wide receiver, but you're the 8th string, you're probably not going to see the field. So if you want to actually get on the field and make some plays, then, talk to them and tell them, hey, this is what we got to do that's going to help us win. So if you want to win and also play, that's what you got to do.
I mean, he pretty much said it all. It's just, if you want to play, go where you need it, not where you want to be.
So this upcoming week, Cornell is the week 1 opponent. Obviously, the emotions of the win the last time you guys were there. How is it a way that you stress to the newcomers as the returners who dealt with that, who know what this game means for you guys? How do you share that message with the rest of the team, or do you have the game-by-game type approach?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Evans has said a lot about them. We don't really get along with them too much. They think they're up here and we're down here, but when it's all said and done, they want to come play football. They're gonna come play football. So I think they know what's gonna happen for sure.
Yeah, Coach Evans talks about it all the time. How much he can't stand Cornell. So I mean, it kind of we don't even have to do anything. Yeah. It kind of gets through to them that way.
And that's certainly one thing. So let's talk offensively, defensively. What is going to be the strategy, and what is going to be the key to getting a win in that game?
Defensively, honestly, I think we're going to keep it pretty simple. We're just going with our base auto defense and probably play a lot of zone and just, read the keys and make plays.
And offensively?
I mean, they have a couple returning guys defensively that if we lock them down, control them, we'll move the ball just fine.
It should be an extremely exciting matchup. So I want to ask you guys, which I I kind of know the answer to this already, but let's put it into words. Your goals for this season, for as a whole, offensively, defensively, if you want to get specifics, but overall, what are your goals for this year?
I mean, defensively, 2 years ago, we were probably like one of the best, if not the best defense in the league. So I think this year we really just want to end it with playing the championship right there on Carlin and field and, set it in stone.
I mean, obviously, for a team championship goal, that's what we want at the end. We want to be playing out there in front of all of our fans, beating Army, Navy, whoever we have to play. But offensively, I mean, if we could be a top 3 offense, that'd be ideally my goal for the end of the season.
Extra incentive, though, that championship game is on this field. I absolutely. Well, thank you both so much for taking the time and stopping by.
Thank you.
And Sidelines continues after this. Do not go anywhere. While this semester will look a little different, we're taking steps to promote a safe campus environment and to help us return to normal faster. You'll notice students and employees wearing face masks that cover their nose and mouth in order to keep you safe. We ask that you do the same to protect your fellow Mounties. Face masks are required inside all campus buildings and should be worn when visiting locations outside of campus as well. Mounties, we're all in this together.
It's all part of Mother Nature's perfect blend, the keystone of the Keystone State. Visit Potter Tioga, a 2-county scenic outdoor haven conveniently located, yet worlds apart. A place where you can kick back, unwind, and forget about the pressures of life. Disconnect and reconnect with your friends, family, or even yourself while surrounded by nature's beauty. So start planning your adventures today at visitpottertioga.com.
Welcome back to Sidelines. Let's talk field hockey now. As joining me at the desk are Kalin, Duke, and Hannah Meyer. Thank you so much for taking the time and coming out.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So this season has been a crazy one, and I'm sure it feels great to be back on. You guys really have been rushed into that leadership role, and I like talking with your class about that, the fact that normally you get those 2 underclassmen years to really develop and hone. Unfortunately, a global pandemic got in the way of that. How have you, and there's no senior class too, so you guys really got thrown into that. How important and how have you adapted to that role early in the season?
Yeah, it's been definitely a big change for all of us to do. We all have to work together as a class to make sure, we're teaching the new girls like what to do, show them the ropes with everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think that it's definitely hard for us because we basically didn't even have like a sophomore year. So we're really like working on making sure that like we're the example and stuff like that.
Has that been an easy shift that you've found to try because of your group really dealt with all the same thing together kind of thing? Or is that a a harder challenge that you're still trying to figure out at this point, you think?
We definitely have to lean on each other to help out. You know, it's great to have that we have such a big class and that we're such a close class that we can lean on each other to do that and work together. So it makes it easier when we're all together with it.
I think the captains have also really helped with that. I think the captains like really set an example, like leadership role, and then basically the rest of our classes kind of followed in their steps.
So let's talk about the games this past week. The first one was Mercyhurst, and boy, that one was a close back and forth battle. Obviously, to get to Erie, that's a long bus ride. Do you think that has an effect on you guys? And if it does, what were the keys to try and eliminate the fatigue of that long bus ride?
Yeah, definitely the bus rides they can be tough. Going into warm-up, that's the most important thing. We have to make sure our warm-up is good and that we're staying high intense and getting into the game speed so we're ready to go.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, in the locker room, we like to listen to like hype music and stuff like that. And then when we're actually warming up on the field, I mean, it's good to like support each other, hype each other up to get us like all in the mindset to play.
So let's talk about that game. Obviously, the back and forth. After that first quarter, obviously not the quarter you wanted. What do you have to do? I mean, really defensively, offensively, in the mid there too. What were some of the adjustments you had to make with your units?
We had to definitely up the hustle a bit. Mercyhurst is a tough team. They're aggressive, and we were kind of playing more timid, so we needed to up the aggressiveness. Not play necessarily dirty, but we needed to make sure we weren't getting pushed off the ball and really upping the communication as well.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they play very physical, and I think, especially for the new girls on our team, it was kind of a shock to them. And I think that like even the second quarter or like the second half, it was like, oh, okay, this is how we need to play. Like we need to play faster, play more up to their speed, just play our game in general.
So obviously, too, you play that team again here later in the season. What can you take away from that game closer than maybe you guys would have liked, but you're able to get the win in that game? What can you take from that looking forward? Obviously not looking ahead too much, but knowing that you have to see this team again, what can you take away from that?
The biggest thing is definitely to score early and have a really strong first quarter and first half, because when we come out strong, then we finish strong as well, instead of just showing up late to the game.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think being the first team to score, I think that also throws off the opponent more. I think Mercyhurst had like a little bit of confidence boost when they were the ones to score first, and then but as we started to score back, I think that's when they started losing their composure, and we were able to play better than they were in the long run.
So looking to this week, another conference opponent in Bloomsburg on Wednesday. What do you expect from that group, and what are going to be the keys to try and get a victory here at home against the Huskies?
It's the same thing, Mercyhurst Kutztown, we need to come out strong, and that was what we realized was our biggest issue in the Kutztown game, is that because we controlled the second half of that game for sure, we kept them out and we got a goal. So we need to make sure we're coming out super, super strong, communicating, playing hard, making good passes and everything.
Yeah, I agree with Hannah. I think definitely coming out strong and just making sure that we're shutting them down and playing our game, how we know that we can play against them.
And so with that too, I want to talk about your both specific style of plays, because from the booth, I love it. Kalin, my goodness. So obviously you play a very aggressive style that I love seeing, and defensively that's the letter of the law, you have to be. How do you bring that energy and try to spread it across the rest of the team? As you guys were saying, that you want the communication, you want the aggressiveness. What do you have to do from your specific style of plays to spread that to the rest of the team?
Leading by example is the biggest thing, because we have so many new girls that are on the field. If we show them how we play, and communicating is obviously a big thing, but they also have to be seeing what we're doing and be able to be like, oh, like that was good, I can do that. And then even like in between the quarters and the halftime being like, hey, at this play, try this, or this, don't do this, try this. Just making sure everyone's on the same page is the biggest thing.
Yeah, I agree with Hannah. I mean, I play slightly more aggressively.
I love it. I love it.
But I mean, I'm hoping that like by seeing the way that I'm playing or the way that Hannah's playing, that like people are going to be able to like pick up on our energy, keep the game at a faster pace, even by like communicating things to other girls on the field too as we're playing, like, oh, keep the pace up, like let's go. stuff like that, just to keep everyone motivated and on the same page.
And then upcoming this week, you guys are wearing the shirts for it. It's the Salute the Troops weekend. How important is that to both of you?
I mean, it's awesome. It's when we have special games like this, it's always a fun thing because it, brings the team together. It gives us something else to play for and to fight for because we know we're representing something.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it's a super important thing, and people love to support too the military and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think it's just really positive for our team and for other people to come out and watch us play with those shirts on too.
And of course, the close to home connection with your coach's husband there serving overseas. Well, thank you both so much for taking the time and stopping by. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you so much.
And Sidelines continues after this. Do not go.
Pride and passion drives the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. From 55 NCAA championship teams, 294 individual national champs, and counting. Who's next? Make the PSAC yours. PSAC Proud is winning in athletics and in the classroom. Over 3,100 PSAC student athletes are honored as scholar athletes. It's a perfect mix of athletics and academics. It's time to make the PSAC yours.
While this semester will look a little different, we're taking steps to promote a safe campus environment and to help us return to normal faster. Please help us promote a safe campus by washing your hands with soap and warm water for at least 20 seconds. Use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer when soap and water are not available. Additional hand sanitizer stations are available throughout campus. Sanitation of high-touch areas around campus have been increased and advanced cleaning techniques have been implemented to limit the risk of transmission. Remember to disinfect personal items like cell phones, computers, and workspaces often. Mounties, we're all in this together.
It's all part of Mother Nature's perfect blend, the keystone of the Keystone State. Visit Potter Tioga, a 2-county scenic outdoor haven conveniently located, yet worlds apart. A place where you can kick back, unwind, and forget about the pressures of life. Disconnect and reconnect with your friends, family, or even yourself while surrounded by nature's beauty. So start planning your adventures today at visitpottertioga.com.
Welcome back into Sidelines. Let's meet some new faces here on the campus of Mansfield University as we meet new assistant coach Ozzy Carapia. Ozzy, thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So let's start with this gig, this job. How did it come about, and what are you looking forward to as the new assistant women's soccer coach?
Yeah, no, it's like I've been telling the girls here, they're like, so why Mansfield? Why Mansfield? Well, I've been part of historically Power 5 school conferences, D1 level, pro level, successful programs, and it's like I tell them every day, like I'm here to help make a difference, to my knowledge, my experience coming from the D1, pro level, etc., and just give all that knowledge to you girls, right? Because at the end of the day, what's going to mean more to me is making history with you group of girls when we make that PSAC conference tournament for the first time in program history. Whether it's this year, next year, I think we're good enough to make it this year, but again, we have to take it one game at a time. And yeah,
So, looking at the group this year, what are some of those things that you think that you can really add to this unit and really bring as you said, to try and make that history?
Yeah, great question. So it's like I tell the girls every day in training, and they don't realize how good they are, right? Every training session, it's intense, it's competitive. Everyone wants to play and start, right? That's not always the case. It's a team game, 11 players on the pitch, and they just have to put in the work. They have to put in the work. I think the intensity this past week was great. We got a great result against Westchester, 1-1, 15 years running. Always lost to them, but now, great result for us. At Bloom, it didn't go our way, but, it's like I tell them, let's put that behind us. Let's keep pushing forward, and we look ahead at our next game, which is against Robert Wesleyan. And I tell the girls, you don't know how good you are. And they don't really, because every day we see them just rising, and it's like, I tell them, hey, practice is meant to be harder than playing during the game. So get after it, right? Get after it, go out there and compete. And during the game, just go out there and put a show.
So I want to break down those games that you mentioned. Let's start, of course, with that Westchester, a wild game that was. So let's start with the first half and going up early in that game. What does that do to the confidence of the team? And then what do you guys have to do to try and carry that confidence the rest of the way?
Yeah, no, I think, the confidence was there since the get-go. I told the girls, look, it's our pitch. We train on it every single day. They train on turf, right? So some might argue that might be an advantage, disadvantage, etc. But at the end of the day, it's soccer. You're still going to play the game how it is. And yeah, going up early, it's like I told the team before the game, like individual, collective efforts is what's going to win us the game tonight. And sure enough, it was a good sit by Taylor Luckenbill, our center back, won the ball, played it to KK Rappel, a freshman. She took on 3 defenders, shot it outside the 18. Great strike, great finish. It was a very special moment. On the pitch, on the sidelines. We look over at Westchester, jaws drop, right? No one was expecting. Well, we were, but they weren't, right? And yeah, they responded well. I thought, they were like, oh, okay, they can play, right? And so, we just try to keep up. They responded, they tied it, and then huge weather delay, lightning delay. It was about an hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours.
Yeah.
A transition from the grass to the turf, right? And it's like I told the girls, like, hey, the game's not over. Let's not go on social media. Just try and focus. We have the momentum. Let's keep it going. Unfortunate, the game got called right as we were going to take a corner kick. But hey, it is what it is. And it's like I told the girls, hey, control the controllables. That's out of our control. We can't prevent that from happening. It is what it is. And we're on the turf. It's fine. We're still playing soccer. So just keep going at it.
So let's talk about that delay and the hour and a half. What do you guys have to do as coaches to keep that focus? Because that is a long time to be doing nothing but waiting for the weather to stop. So what are the things you guys have to do to keep focused? You still got the majority of the second half. This was before we knew we were going to move down to the turf. What are the keys to keeping everyone there and mentally ready?
Yeah, I think it's more of a more of a team structures thing. We told the girls, hey, avoid getting off social media or your cell phones. If you need to update your parents, that's fine. Quick text, put your phone back down. Because at the end of the day, we're still gonna have to go out there and play a game. If we lose focus, if we switch off and go on social media and etc., whatever it is, or they start doing TikToks, right? Then I think that's when we will slowly start switching off, engaging down, and then that would have shown come the second half on the turf. But I mean, I think overall it was great. Most of the girls, they were just sitting down and listening to music. I told them, hey, listen to music, but visualize yourself during the second half, right? Just visualize yourself, put a towel over your head, anything, just to not lose focus, right? To just keep getting locked in, and we'll go from there.
So you do move down to the turf. Does the strategy change at all on the surface from your end?
Not at all. I wouldn't say not even slightly. It was just more of the girls realizing like, hey, the ball's gonna move faster now, so anticipate it better. Your first touch has to be cleaner than it would be on the grass, because if your first touch is a hard touch, then the ball's just gonna ricochet and bounce off of you on the turf, especially on a wet surface. But no, I mean, I just told the girls like, hey, grass, turf, dirt, whatever it is, it's still soccer. Just go out there, you're athletes, go out there and perform.
So obviously the game goes into overtime and a double overtime. Do you think that hour and a half break actually helped in that fact, to have fresh legs by the time to still really kind of be fresh-ish that second overtime?
Yeah, no, I think there's, obviously there's pros and cons to it. The cons were, we had all the momentum going our way, then that happened, and yeah, I mean, I think it helped us from a physical standpoint, just, for our girls getting that long break, they're able to, to get fuel in, to eat a banana, eat an orange, eat an apple, whatever it was. But yeah, I think that helped us in order for our girls to be able to play 110 minutes in the long run.
And then jumping ahead to this week, a non-conference opponent on Wednesday. What are the things you try to take away from those non-conference opponents?
Yeah, it's like I tell the girls, it doesn't matter who we're playing. We're treating each game the same, right? Not every team. Well, every team is not gonna take it easy on you because it's a non-conference game. Whatever. No, it's more of a measure on where we're at with other teams in other divisions, conferences, because every division is tough, right? Every division is tough. There's great student athletes all around, and going ahead against Robert Wesleyan, I was doing a scouting report on them over the weekend, just to see what we touched today, tomorrow in training before we see them on Wednesday, and they're a great team. They're very, very well coached. They stay very compact, so it's just stuff that us as coaches have to address during training, and just get them prepared.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for taking the time and stopping by.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me.
And Sidelines continues after this. Do not go anywhere. While this semester will look a little different, we're taking steps to promote a safe campus environment and to help us return to normal faster. You'll notice students and employees wearing face masks that cover their nose and mouth in order to keep you safe. We ask that you do the same to protect your fellow Mounties. Face masks are required inside all campus buildings and should be worn when visiting locations outside of campus as well. Mounties, we're all in this together. While this semester will look a little different, we're taking steps to promote a safe campus environment and to help us return to normal faster. Please help us promote a safe campus by washing your hands with soap and warm water for at least 20 seconds. Use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer when soap and water are not available. Additional hand sanitizer stations are available throughout campus. Sanitation of high-touch areas around campus have been increased and advanced cleaning techniques have been implemented to limit the risk of transmission. Remember to disinfect personal items like cell phones, computers, and workspaces often. Mounties, we're all in this together.
It's all part of Mother Nature's perfect blend, the keystone of the Keystone State. Visit Potter Tioga, a two-county scenic outdoor haven conveniently located, yet worlds apart. A place where you can kick back, unwind, and forget about the pressures of life. Disconnect and reconnect with your friends, family, or even yourself while surrounded by nature's beauty. So start planning your adventures today at visitpottertioga.com.
That's going to do it for us, folks. To stay up to date on all things Mansfield Athletics, head over to GoMounties.com. Thanks for watching, and I will see you